Hi everyone, guess where I am? Central London. It is so the trends, the seasons have turned. It's now feeling a little bit more wintry and I am going to go and look around all the high street, find some really great stuff for you guys to sew. So I'm not going to film in the shops because I still have to wear a mask. I'm going to try and get some shots inside the shops and then I will go home, do loads of research and find some great stuff for you guys to sew. Right, so I've done a few shops now. Things I've noticed: big collars, big sleeves, lots of frills still. In terms of print, there aren't a huge amount of prints, lots of sort of ditzy florals. There's definitely a 70s feel to everything. Lots of tiered loose dresses, wrap dresses with big sleeves. There's a lot of stuff that I think has passed on through from this year, kind of carried on through to autumn. So I'm now going to go look in Liberty because I like to look at sort of the higher end stuff and lots of other ones, so I'm going to keep going. So that is me done. I'm going to head home now and have a look at some great patterns. I've got lots of ideas. I've already kind of picked a few in my head and I will report from home. Hi everyone, so I'm back from town. I've done my homework. I've got some really nice things to talk you through. I will say, I think it's been quite interesting this year, obviously with everything that's happening in the world. I feel like that it's quite reserved what they've done for autumn winter so far. I've also noticed that they usually by this point, because we're at the beginning of September, or kind of a week in now, most of the winter stuff, well, all the winter stuff would be in sort of mid-August, late August. And it doesn't feel that way at all. There's a lot of things that are still like full on summer, so I'm not sure whether the high street have had a really bad summer and they're kind of trying to extend it as long as possible. So there's definitely, it felt very autumnal. It didn't feel full winter yet to me. Yes, but I've got some really lovely things. I hope that you'll find this useful and find some really amazing stuff to sew. So I'm gonna get cracking. So let's start with outerwear. The first thing I'm going to talk to you about are jackets. They are back again this winter. So this is a mixture, a sort of shirt style made in a heavier weight fabric like a wool to make it into a jacket. Really great layering piece, can be worn as a coat, could also be worn as a cardigan in the house if it's a bit chilly. We've got a really fantastic pattern which I think is perfect for this. I saw them in most of the shops. In terms of the fabrication, quite a lot of them were, you can see from the pictures, quite muted. There were a few checks, but generally block colours, quite dark. There's a lot of black around the season, a lot of really dark green. Right, so pattern, we've got the Raya shirt and coat from Fibre Mood. This comes in sizes 6 to 30. This one was almost spot on for me. If I show you the line drawing, you'll see it's got pockets on the breast, which is the same as the pictures that I've shown you from the high street. Buttons down the front, shirt collar. I mean, it's basically a shirt construction just in a different fabric. It's unlined, so it's a bit easier to kind of make. Really great. I think you'll get a lot of wear out of this. So, and these were, you know, if you haven't made one yet, they've already kind of been in springtime, so I think they'll probably go through until next spring, so good investment. Next up we've got jackets and coats. All the coats were fairly, again, quite muted colours. Oversized was the real kind of takeaway from this. Really big oversized coats. So what I did think is, if you have a coat pattern already that you've made a couple of times and it feels slightly tailored like this, you could actually just size up a couple of sizes, because if you've got the fit right, why spend, you know, refitting on another pattern? Just go up a couple of sizes and it would feel very much on trend. If you are looking for something that is oversized, we've got the Traveller coat from Bella Loves Patterns. This comes in sizes 6 to 20. I thought this one was almost perfect, really big and boxy, lots of really nice details, lots of tailoring details. If I show you the line drawing, you'll see it almost looks a bit like a trench coat, double-breasted, and a lot of the jackets, the oversized things that I saw were double-breasted. And there's a couple of things like the epaulets on the shoulder you could leave off if you wanted to. The other thing that I noticed, which would be a really easy kind of detail to add, a really enormous, you can see in the picture of the high street version, enormous pockets, sort of oversized features. So, and that's just a patch pocket, so you could totally add something like this onto something like this Traveller coat and it would completely change the feel of it. But this is nice and big and boxy, so I feel like this would be a really good option. Still on outerwear, because I've got two more of these. Trench coats, oversized, chunky, again oversized trench coats. These to me feel very autumnal, probably not, well, depending on where you live in the world, probably not perfect for when it gets really cold, but a really good sort of transitional piece. The thing that was kind of, to me, the big feature was this really big sort of, I think that's called storm flaps on the front. I know they're at the back, but you know what I mean, that big sort of flap at the front. Those were featured on most of the trench coats that I saw. Again, oversized without loads of details. So the pattern that I found, which I think is perfect, is the Vogue 1650. It's got that flap, it's got some of the details. The only thing I would probably do is size up, because then it would feel a bit more oversized. So if you go up a size or two, definitely toile this, don't go freestyle on this one. But this Vogue pattern is beautiful, it's got really nice details, and the tie at the front you could leave off or have it just hanging at the back, which would feel a bit more on trend. But in terms of the cut and the shape, I think it's perfect. So last but not least, from the jacket front, we have got Quilted Jackets. There were loads of these, I mean loads of these in every single shop. The lovely thing about them is that they're really cozy. Again, I think you could almost wear this like a house coat if it's chilly inside, kind of like a cardigan come coat. Lots and lots of these in pretty much every shop. So the pattern, which I've definitely spoken about before in So the Trends, is the Tamarix Jacket from Grey Line Studio. This comes in sizes 8 to 18. This one is almost spot on. The great thing about this is that you can pick your fabric and quilt it yourself, or there are quite a lot of places that you can buy pre-quilted fabric now from fabric shops. So if you don't want to do the quilting, you can actually just buy it already done and you're kind of 3 steps ahead already. The diamond shape seemed to be the thing for me that was in most places that if I was going to do it myself, that's probably what I'd do, that diamond pattern rather than the straight across one on the Tamarix. But other than that, I mean, the shape wise, no collar, button down the front or zip up the front depending on what you want to do, or poppers. Yeah, it was pretty much bang on. So now let's talk about tops. The main thing I will say, so in terms of like fabrication and print, not very much print about. Everything is quite plain. It feels very 90s or kind of late 90s, early 2000s, quite muted colourways, sandy tones, greys, mixing tonally in terms of colours, so different colour camels you'd wear all together, or all blocking colour and wearing then a darker shade of camel over the top. It's very muted this winter, and again I think going back to what I was saying, that ties into the sort of reserved feeling of the world at the moment. I think obviously when they were designing this, like, you know, last year or beginning of this year, it was deciding what to do, and I think, yeah, there's definitely a kind of conservative feel. So it's good in a way actually, because it's more core basics, things that you'll wear over and over again. So the oversized shirt, that has been a massive thing. Every single shop has them. I really like it because it's quite good as a layering piece. You can either wear it open with something underneath or done up like this over a pair of trousers. These were in every single shop in loads of different colourways. So I would say if you were going to make one thing that seemed to be in every shop, this would be the thing I would make. So the pattern that I chose is the oversized shirt from the assembly line. This comes in sizes 8 to 30. This is spot on. I mean, really lovely shape. It's got pockets as well, which I really like, which most shirts don't. Button down the front. If you wanted to add detail to the shirt, if you wanted to add a pocket on the bust, you could totally do that too. I'm just wondering, looking at this, going back to that shacket that I was talking about right at the beginning, whether if you bought this pattern, you could make a shirt and a shacket out of it. You probably could actually. And then you're kind of just buying one pattern, like an investment pattern. But yeah, the assembly line have really great patterns, and their patterns are always designed to be quite boxy anyway, so I think this feels like a really good option. So next up in sort of the top world and shapes, sleeves. Big sleeves are still in this winter. I feel like they're never going to go. Quite a lot of them with high neck with a big sleeve, button down versions as well, and they're, alongside everything being quite muted, there are things that have quite a lot of detail in them that feel quite 70s. So little ditzy florals. I mean, the scale of the prints are all small ditzy florals with kind of some detailing. So I've got a few options, I thought, because this to me feels like something that a lot of us would like to wear in different variants. So I've got 3 patterns that I thought would kind of span a few options for you. So the first one is the Edie Top and Dress from Merchant & Mills. This comes in sizes 6 to 18. I love this. I thought it was really great shape. High neck, tie at the back, big sleeves, ties at the cuff. Actually a very simple construction. You can make it in a woven fabric, like a cotton, like is pictured here, or you could do it in something much more floaty, like a viscose or a crepe, and it would feel a lot more dressy. So that would be a good option, I think, to start with. The Thea Boho sleeve shirt from Liberty. This comes in sizes 6 to 22. I thought this one was perfect. It's got buttons down the front, it's got nice gathering on the sleeve, it's got that big statement sleeve, and it's got a nice big cuff. So I've spoken about this one before. There's actually loads of variations within this pattern. So if you are looking for something that you want to make with quite a lot of detail, this would be a really good option. This is a really lovely pattern. There are 6 variants with this, so you can really get stuck in and make it your own. There's loads of great stuff that you could do. Last but not least is the Edgeridge Blouse from Vicky Sews. This comes in sizes 6 to 20. I popped this one in because I love the button detail down the front and the V-neck, and the way that the little button loops go all the way up around the neckline. Again, it's got a big sleeve, really big cuff. It's beautiful shape, and it was very similar to lots of sort of blouses that I saw in the shops. And again, in terms of fabrication, you can make this in loads of different things. So you could make it in a crepe and it would feel very drapey, or you can make it in a cotton. But I thought this one felt quite similar to quite a lot of the things that I saw on High Street. So that is the kind of last of the kind of big sleeved blouses. In terms of tops, I mean, this is a very simple shape, but this was everywhere. This sort of slightly racer style tank top, tucked into trousers or cropped as well, depending on what your vibe is. Lots and lots of these, again in lots of colours, and I know that it seems like quite a simple make, but this sort of neckline was quite big everywhere. So the pattern that I've got is the Veronica top, again another one from Vicky Sews, in sizes 8 to 16. This has that same neckline which was seen everywhere, and you could crop it if you wanted to make it short. So I thought that was a really great option. So in terms of like dresses, lots of smock dresses. Smock dresses seem to be the thing that has carried on and don't seem to be going anywhere. The other, I'll talk about those first, I think. I've got 3 options for you with this dress, because I thought, again, this is something that is worth investing in making. I've spoken about quite a few smock dresses in past videos, so I've tried to pick some ones that I haven't spoken about before. The first one is the Valley dress and top from Pattern Fantastique. This comes in sizes 6 to 26. I love this. I absolutely adore this pattern. I think it's fantastic. It's got a really great bib at the front, these big statement sleeves, which again were on quite a lot of the smock dresses, pockets at the side. You can also make this into a top as well if you wanted to, so it's quite a versatile pattern, and the top was quite similar to kind of that sort of big sleeve blouse I was talking about earlier on in the video. So this shape to me feels like another really good option if you're looking for a sort of smocky dress. Next up, I've got the Davenport dress from Friday Pattern Company. This comes in sizes 6 to 34. This one has quite a lot of nice detail on it, so I'll show you the line drawing, you can see what's going on. It's got the high neck, which quite a lot of them had. It's got gathering around the neckline, a puff sleeve, a tier on the skirt, a little drawstring at the waistband and pockets. It's such a lovely pattern. It looks, I mean, I love Friday Pattern Company anyway, but this pattern to me feels like something that you could then wear through autumn, through winter with kind of tights, and then again back into spring. So it could be a really kind of good pattern and investment sort of make. And I just think it's a really great one and quite similar to the stuff I saw on the high street. The last one is a simplicity pattern. It's the S8872. This comes in sizes 4 to 20. I popped this one in because there are 4 variations with this, which is great. They're all quite different, but the dress, the kind of smock dress version, which is version C, which is the one I've sort of showed you, to me feels very similar to the pictures that I showed you from the high street. Little high neck, ties, that sort of big sleeve again, and it's also got gathering options as well for the skirt, so you can have tiers if you want to. So this one is a real kind of, I think this is a really nice pattern actually, and it was one that I hadn't sort of come across before, so I was quite pleased when I was hunting. The big collar is my next thing. That hasn't gone anywhere, guys. That is still very much everywhere. And also this little detail on it with the rick-rack, that sort of wiggly, what's it called? Yeah, it was called rick-rack. That sort of wiggly ribbon that you used to wear. I had it on the bottom of my like ballet skirts. This was everywhere. So if you're gonna like do this, go and buy some giant rick-rack and sew it on, because that was on loads of tops and dresses. So the pattern I've got, which I'm sure you won't be surprised by, is the Bakerloo blouse and dress from Nina Lee. This comes in sizes 6 to 28. You can make this in a dress or a shirt, so depending on what you want. The dress version seems to be more popular. There were more dresses than there were blouses, whereas I think in spring there were more blouses with this big collar than dresses. And Nina's, to be honest, is almost like completely perfect to me. Everything about the dress version of this was so close. So it's got the big collar, darts at the bust, gathered waistline, loose. It's loose fitting. It's designed to be kind of relaxed fit, and this was everywhere. So again, if you're going to make a dress, this to me was like something that's definitely worth sewing this winter. So bottoms, skirts. There were hardly any skirts anywhere. I barely saw any, so I didn't actually include any skirts. Trousers, obviously big again. So the first one I'm going to show you are these sort of 1970s wide-legged jeans. These came in lots of formats. but that silhouette was everywhere, the high waist and the wider straight cut leg. So I've got two patterns for you. The first one is the parasol trousers from Ensemble. This comes in sizes 8 to 24. Sorry, I've got hiccups. And this one to me was pretty much perfect. It's got that really nice straight shape, slightly wider legged than the picture that I showed you. But if you prefer that, then this was my option with a slightly wider leg. The other pattern I've got, which is another really good option, is the Persephone pants and shorts from Alla Allen. This comes in sizes 8 to 20. These are very similar to the ones I spoke before about, but they've got a proper fly up the front, a waistband. They're slightly narrower cut than the other ones. So if you're looking for something a little narrower, these are the ones to go for. Finally, in terms of trousers, the chino, the chino is back. There were lots of sort of relaxed fit chinos, but the thing that really caught my eye and I saw most of was a very slightly bubble shape. So they sort of taper down to the ankle. Your ankle is exposed. I saw lots of these. So again, I've got two options for you. The first one are the Eve trousers from Merchant & Mills. I picked these because of the shape. They've definitely got that sort of bubble shape. They've got a zip up the side, relaxed fit. Loads of people have made this and absolutely love it. It's such a fantastic pair of trousers, so I definitely have a look into these. They're really nice shape. The other pair of trousers I thought that would work really well is the Q woven pant from Style Arc. These comes in sizes 4 to 30. They've got that bubble shape. They've got this interesting little kind of V at the bottom of the trouser, but they've got proper fly front, waistband and all of those details. But I felt like these were really nice shape and quite similar to lots of stuff that I saw on the high street. So I hope you found that useful. And yeah, you've got some ideas for stuff to sew this winter. We'll be back soon with another video. Bye!